Okay, let's just jump right in. We're going to break down a really powerful investment philosophy today, and it's built on one single non-negotiable rule. You only, and I mean only, bet on the uncontested number one. That's it.
So when you're faced with these kinds of choices, the playbook is incredibly simple. You ask, gold or silver? It's always gold. Bitcoin or the ocean of altcoins? It's Bitcoin, period. And yeah, even when everyone out there is screaming bubble, it's Nvidia against the entire field. When the analysts say Apple's losing its edge, you stick with the champ.
And this really gets to the heart of it. This isn't about trying to find the next big thing. Nope. It's about identifying and just holding on to the only big thing in each category, the absolute kings and queens who've already won the game.
So, you might be asking, why this relentless focus on the leader? Well, it's because in today's economy, winners don't just win, they often build advantages that are so powerful they become, for all intents and purposes, permanent. Let's dig into the forces that lock them into that top spot.
Okay, so first up, you have to get your head around this idea of economic moats. It's a pretty simple metaphor, right? Think of a castle. The deeper and wider that moat is, the safer the castle is. Well, in business, a market leader builds the deepest, widest moat imaginable, making it almost impossible for anyone else to even get close to the walls.
Now, one of the most powerful ways to dig that moat, especially in the digital age, is through something called network effects. It's a simple idea, but man, the consequences are huge. Basically, a product gets better for everyone as more people jump on board. This creates a kind of gravitational pull that becomes almost impossible to escape. And what's great is that this isn't just some abstract theory. Take a look at Binance. It has massive trading volume, which creates deeper liquidity. What does that mean for you? It means you get better prices. And guess what? Better prices attract more users, which then drives even more volume. You see? It's not just a cycle, it's a vortex, and it just keeps pulling everything and everyone towards its center.
And you see these moats all over the place, right? I mean, think about it. These aren't just products you can decide to switch from one day to the next. They're deeply embedded platforms. They're tethered to the commercial and social lives of literally millions of people. You don't just migrate away from your entire social circle or your phone's operating system on a whim.
All right, the other huge force at play here is the power law. This basically says that in certain industries, and this is especially true for tech and crypto, the market isn't shared nicely and equally. No, the leader captures a wildly disproportionate share of all the profits, leaving everyone else to fight over the crumbs. It's just a natural drift towards a winner-take-all reality.
So, this naturally leads to a really important question. If the leader is so dominant, why not bet on the scrappy number two? You know, the underdog, the one with more room to grow. Well, according to this philosophy, that's a really dangerous trap to fall into.
I mean, it's a tempting thought, isn't it? The whole idea of catching the next big wave as it's just starting to build. But in these industries where the power law is in full effect, that logic is it's fundamentally flawed. The potential for growth is completely overshadowed by the brutal reality of the market they're in.
This visual just nails the dynamic perfectly. The champion's position is like a fortress. It's stable, it's secure. But those number 2 and 3 spots, man, that's a revolving door. It's just a constant, chaotic battle.
So here's the key takeaway. The runner-up's biggest threat isn't really the champion they're chasing. It's everyone else who's chasing them. They are all locked in this brutal death match, just cannibalizing each other for the scraps the leader leaves behind. And that uncertainty? That is absolute poison for a long-term investor. This also helps us tear apart a huge mistake a lot of investors make, selling their winners just because they've gone up too much. Look, a rising price for a market leader isn't a red flag. It's a confirmation signal. It's proof of their increasing dominance. Assuming they'll just fall back to the average is a total fallacy that ignores the very power law that got them to the top in the first place.
Okay, so we've pretty much established the why. Now let's switch gears to the how. How do you actually spot one of these uncontested champions out in the wild? Well, this framework gives us a pretty handy 4-point checklist.
First things first, you're looking for overwhelming market share in a winner-take-all sector. We're talking 40% or more. This isn't about being just a little bit ahead. This is about commanding such a lead that your rivals are barely even in the same race.
Second, the company has to define the entire category. A true champion doesn't just lead its industry, it is the industry. You know, when you think search engine, you think Google. When you think social network, you think Facebook. Their brand becomes a synonym for the whole sector.
Third, and honestly, this is the acid test,
They have to have pricing power. That's the ability to raise their prices without losing customers. The source calls this an infinite money printer, and it's not far off. If they can jack up prices by 20 or 30% and their customers basically have no choice but to pay up, you've found a true champion.
And finally, the business has to be on the right side of history. Its core model must align with the big, powerful trends that are shaping the future. The source calls this being on the convergence of destiny, and I kind of like that.
All right, let's pull all of this together now into a really powerful, overarching mindset. This strategy isn't about frantically day trading or anything like that. It's about being, as the source puts it, strategically lazy.
So what does that even mean? It means your job isn't to outsmart the market. Your job is to find the most dominant companies, run by the most brilliant people in the world, and then you do one simple thing. You provide them with your capital. You let them do the hard work of compounding your wealth for you.
This philosophy completely reframes how you look at these assets. They aren't speculative gambles, they are your wealth anchors. You should treat them like your own personal high-yield savings account. They are the absolute bedrock foundation of your financial life.
And this quote just captures that mindset perfectly. When you have extra cash, you just add it to your anchors. You don't obsess over the day-to-day price swings. You absolutely do not try to time the market. You just trust that the companies that make money easily today will probably make it even more easily tomorrow.
And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. Take a hard, honest look at your own portfolio through this lens. Which of your assets are just, competing in the race, and which ones are the actual finish line? What are your true, unshakable wealth anchors?
Smash like and subscribe.